Wyandotte County, that's where I live, that's where I serve. But growing up, I didn't want to be here. What actually happened was the summer before I graduated from K-State, I had to find a job, an internship, and I couldn't find one, so I called my father-in-law, my stepfather, and he worked for the county, and he got me a job at the Juvenile Detention Center. And I knew that that's where I was supposed to be working with kids. But, you know, like most of us, I disqualified myself. I said, you know, I don't have a degree in social work, I don't have a degree in this and that, and I can't work with kids. So I went back to K-State, finished my degree in graphic design, and I still couldn't find a job. And I get invited to go to a Promise Keepers in Colorado. So I'm at Colorado, I'm at the Promise Keepers, and the Lord speaks to my heart and says, you know, if you desire to work with kids, then go back and work with kids. And so on the way back from that Promise Keepers trip, I told the guy sitting next to me, I'm going back to K-State, I'm getting a degree in education, I'm going to work with kids. And that's what I did. I went back and got my degree in graphic design, in education, but I still was not bent on coming back to Wyandotte County. So I went to work in the Blue Valley School District. So it was at the Blue Valley School District while I was there that I had a chance to come back and visit my old elementary school. And when I visited my old elementary school, I got a clear understanding of what it meant to have an uneven playing field. Now, some of you guys may have heard that term before, and what it means is there's a great difference between urban and suburban education. And I didn't really understand it until I was exposed to the environment in Blue Valley and then came back to my old elementary school in Wyandotte County. When I walked back into the school, it was dimly lit, small building. There was an Apple L2C computer on a cart in the hallway. There were books on carts. There were art supplies on a little cart. And where I was teaching in Blue Valley, we had everything. We had 5 computer labs throughout our school. Every teacher had a computer, color printer, TV, phone in their room. It was just different. And when I experienced that, I got a better understanding of what that really meant. We were going to have our 4th child, my wife and I thought, you know what, Lord, I can't survive on a teacher's salary, so I have to find a new job. And so that's what I did. I went out to pursue a higher paying job, and while I was out pursuing that job, I was contacted by a friend of mine that I used to work with at K-State. His name is Bernard Franklin. And Bernard called me and told me about an opportunity he had in Kansas City. So I'm meeting with Bernard, he's talking about working in Wyandotte County. I said, wow, this is something to consider, because I started thinking of the kids in JDC, and I also started thinking about my old elementary school. And the Lord just started to soften my heart for this community, because I didn't want to come back here. But when the Lord calls you to do a certain thing, you just can't control yourself. I feel like, you know, God has called me to come back to Wyandotte County to give my life on this mission field to help people know who He is. And no, I'm not the best qualified. I don't have the right kinds of degrees for the most case. You know, I don't have a lot of those things, but I have the Lord, and our faith in the Lord is what really has driven us to desire to have this community transformed. And so that's what we do. We're back in Wyandotte County to try to transform lives of people here, and the main thing is that they know Christ.